Good to have you here. So you hear nothing about quantum. You hear nothing. You hear some guidelines what you have to do when these quantum systems are available. Thank you, Laura, for preparing this hybrid stuff. Just to wait a second. They are leaving already. They are not interested in the security. How to start? What has Deutsche Bahn to do with quantum? So I don't expect any questions about what the Deutsche Bahn is doing at the moment. More interesting for us is what we're doing with the topic for the future. So you see on the left hand, we are looking how we can use these systems, maybe this hybrid system in LRZ or other systems for optimizing the assets we have, the trains, the rail, the switches, the people. So we have use cases in place already. We implemented them so far on the ANILA stuff. We are looking for AQT now in the next step. So we're working together with the guys from several ministries to get the positive side up and running. And we are in discussion with LRZ, IQM as well, to get it done in Garching. But on the other hand, and this is, I think the topic of this deep speech is more the issue side of quantum. So you see these systems will be available, we assume, within the next years, not in the next few years, but within the next years. So when we look for it, we're working since 4 years now with this topic from a software perspective, and we see that the systems are growing. We started 4 years ago with a handful of qubits. Now we're looking for 1,000 and above. And we see they are really growing, and the architectures become better and better. And we have always some surprises coming around the corner from companies we didn't expect in the past. We see IBM on one hand, we have them on every speech. We see on the other hand small companies raising out of MIT, for example, and coming up with technical solutions we didn't expect so far. So everything is growing. And what we plan to do is, on one hand, this is the picture you see in every Deutsche Bahn session with our board of directors or whatever. This is the optimization stuff we are doing. It's very simple. It's traveling salesman problem. Simple. For computer scientists, this is what you learn in your basic course. But it hasn't shown so far, so I don't want to go in detail for this, as long as the hardware providers are not so far that they can convince us that they will be better than what we are doing at the moment. We do it on operations research methods. During this time, we look at it, we investigate, but we are not going in deep dive for this. We are interested more in this supercomputing, HPC, quantum, neuromorphic, whatever comes later on. And what we are more interested in is, at the moment, a global view on quantum and security. And what you see, I think in the last rows, it's difficult to see. You see all the organizations which are embedded in this security discussion. So in Germany, it's the BSI. In France, it's the ANSI. We have the NIST involved. We have Canada involved. We have been on Monday in the UK. UK is involved. So worldwide, we are looking what does it mean for security when these systems are available. And it sounds as if we need to prepare as soon as possible because the systems are, let's say, on the horizon. Yeah? Some systems will be on the horizon. So therefore, Deutsche Bahn is embedded in several ecosystems, I will name. So in Germany, in the Bitkom, therefore we are here and happy to have you here at this Bitkom event. And we are engaged in several research projects, the Planck project, software development project, the Enigma, it's the development of hybrid algorithms, classical plus quantum. This is what we are planning to do with LRZ. And we are now engaged in the QDIS project, which means we will make OT infrastructure, DB infrastructure, quantum secure. So this is one of the first projects in this environment. And we are engaged in the QUIC, this European organization, which has now around about 190 members, European-wide, including the UK and Switzerland. And we are looking what happens in Europe, because we are very interested in the sovereignty of Europe. And when you look, for example, at this report from Draghi. I think it's 2 weeks old now, where he says where Europe is standing at the moment. I think we should hurry up. And we should not only hurry up in software and hardware, I think we should hurry up in the security stuff as well, because time is running. And then we are in this German Industrial Association for Quantum Security. This is a small German group with members from industry, vendors of PQC and QKD solutions, and industry users on the other hand, like us, who need to prepare the systems. And last but not least, we founded 2 years ago the Federal Quantum Alliance, the German Federal Quantum Alliance. And this is a group of, you see, Deutsche Bahn, Bundesdruckerei, the guys are sitting over there, some of them, Deutsche Rente, Old Age Insurance, Federal Employment Agency, and the BSI will join us hopefully within the next week. So this is a group where we prepare our government and governmental organizations for this quantum stuff. So we have their crypto experts in place. So we have them within Deutsche Bahn. I have a group of crypto experts and quantum experts. We are developing on these systems. We think we have an idea how far the technology is really, and not what is sometimes mentioned in some calls from some people. I think most of you know who I mean. And on the other hand, we are looking for the crypto activities which are needed to prepare ourselves. So what I say, since 2022, 2 years ago I started, it doesn't go away. So when we started 2020, it was the reaction of most of the board members said, "Oh, Manfred, what are you doing there? Quantum, it's more interesting to look for." I think it was blockchain at that time. You know blockchain? You remember? Yeah. Some of the IBMers, maybe they know it, the UDDI, WSDL, and so. Yeah, this is 20 years ago, and then came blockchain. And we were interested more in the security stuff, and we looked for 2 years. Is it only PowerPoint, or do these systems really exist? And we learned they exist. And as I said, they don't go away. They are growing, and we expect to have them, according to the hypothesis of BSI, 2030, 2035. It's not 20 years ago, 20 years far away. I think it will be much more faster. It wouldn't be within the next 3 years, to be clear on this. And as I said, BSI mentioned already, I think several years ago, that these things will break encryption. So encryption is what we use every day, in every email, in every call, the satellites, on our mobile phones. So encryption is one of the key security assets we have, and it will grow. And we have the issue of this harvest now, decrypt later. So many guys assume that somebody's already collecting data. I have no idea who, but it is mentioned. They are already collecting large numbers of data. And as soon as these systems are available, the data can be decrypted, and we know maybe some details we didn't want to know from government, from industry, whatever you can think of. So it means we had on Monday we had a nice action in the UK. We were together at the Quantum Tech, and there was the idea that maybe you can exchange your mobile phone with your neighbor, only for 5 minutes. Is anybody willing? No, you don't trust your neighbor. But this is the feeling you will have when our encryption is broken. So everybody can look into your details. And I think the pictures are not relevant, the banking account data, for example. So everybody is, every information is open. And this is what it means at the end when the large systems are really available. And I think especially the US recognized this very early. So Joe Biden, the White House, came around the corner end of 2022. And I think we have now 24, I think. Yeah, 24, 2 years ago. They came around the corner with the Preparedness Act, a Quantum Security Preparedness Act. So it's only, they started in May, I think, May this 2022 with with a recommendation, and then some months later they came up with an act. And when you see at the details, the US government had 6 months time to prepare a master plan. 6 months. Maybe you can go to the Berlin guys and ask them to prepare a master plan within 6 months. I'm not sure what happens over there. And this is 2 years old. And when you are now in the US, I'm several times in the US, in most cases in this quantum stuff, you see a lot of US guys are very stressed because this is not only a request from government, this is mandatory. And many of the organizations have the plan in place already, and they have to report. And when we are sitting together over there, you know it, we sit together, and they are really under pressure to get this done, to get the plan in place, how to prepare for quantum, which means how to implement crypto agility at the end in the organization. In Europe, this is a European answer. It's from April this year. It's a recommendation of the European Commission. This was the time when Thierry Breton was still active, or I think, yeah. And the recommendation says you should, or you could prepare because there is a threat on the horizon. It's a recommendation. There is no sentence that it needs to be done, that there is some pressure on it, that you have to do it within amount of time. But what the guys did so far, and this is what you see, cyber security is a central goal, switching as quick as possible, and so on and so on. And the last sentence is, within the next 2 years, we need a roadmap, 2 years versus 6 months. It's an interesting approach. You know, 2024 plus 2, we say 2030 the system is available, or 2035. We know that large organizations need at least 10 years to get their systems adopted. It's not only Deutsche Bahn, it's the same situation for banking, it's the same situation for insurance organizations. So large organizations need a lot of time to get their crypto change into an agile, into this hybrid mode. So I think it could be 20 minutes past 12 to get this done, but you've got some light on the horizon because the sentence forum of member states has to be established. We had already one meeting of Germany, France, Netherlands. The three countries started the activities to build up this kind of roadmap for Europe. And we know the Netherlands are very far. They got a master plan already in place. They got ideas what needs to be done. What we haven't done so far is we haven't transported it into the industry and into the government. So we are running around since several years now, let's say two to 3 years now, to convince the CIOs and CISOs in the organization that there needs to be done something. And you know, 2 years ago, this technical stuff, what was it, Gen AI, and you know this technology, nobody understood how it works, but it works. This is something which changed the focus completely. So nobody was really interested anymore in this. They're looking for the advantages and the threats of Gen AI. And what we shouldn't miss is what we have to do for this quantum supercomputer power. And thanks to BSI, Federal Office for Information Security, I think now it's right. I had a review on this, and the name is Federal Office for Information Security. I think everybody knows it, especially the guys from German IT, because these are the guys sitting in Bonn and Berlin and coming up with ideas what needs to be done for security, for their applications, and come up with, let's say, some plans and some cookbooks, what needs to be done. And this is one of the cookbook, which is now, I think, 3 to 4 years old, and there was a revision. There's a revision been done some years ago, and so but it's still valid, and there is everything at the moment, everything you need to know about implementing PQC, post-quantum cryptography, in your organization. The starting point is the first one, making preparations for crypto. And when we are walking through organizations, it's not only Deutsche Bahn, it's in other organizations as well. We ask the guys, which crypto do you have in place? And we have, for example, more than 800 applications. It's not only the navigator, we have a lot of other applications we know, and then we have the application which is under the desk. And it is difficult to figure out which crypto is really in place, because this is a topic a software developer doesn't look in very detailed. Yeah, sometimes it is mentioned, but sometimes it is mentioned in the architecture decisions, but it's not a focus for software development. This should be changed. And during the last 2 years, it was always said we can't start because we haven't had the algorithms we need to implement. So it was the rabbit in front of the snake. We are waiting. What should we do? We are waiting for NIST. We had some recommendation from BSI so far, which could be used. But no, it was said we need the NIST decision. Now we have it. Since August this year, we have 3 algorithms which can be implemented. In addition, we have recommendations from BSI, so we can start. Everybody can start with it. There is no excuse, and we have to know that it needs a long duration to get this done. This is not only adopting a quantum secure algorithm on top of your current application. It needs to be benchmarked. It needs to be figured out what does it mean in your productive environment. And software development doesn't mean it runs only once. Software development means it has to be run 24/7. Otherwise, you don't know where your train is. Yeah. And when this will be broken, I think it could endanger not only our traffic, it could endanger the planes, the energy, the water. So every application or everything we have at the moment where we have crypto in place. As I said, it takes a lot of time, and what we learned over the years, how to proceed and where to start, here's some ideas what can be done, and maybe when you've heard it the first time, it could be a good starting point to start a discussion with your CIOs and CISOs and CEOs, because he has the money. First, get your top management involved. Don't start bottom up because your software developer says it needs to be done. Get your top management in place and do risk assessment. So what does it mean when a dedicated application doesn't run for some hours? And this can be counted in euros, dollar, depending where we are. What we look for at the moment in detail is this CBOM, this crypto bill of material. So I see some heads nodding. In software development, it was more or less unusual to really know exactly which class you're using. But they come now and do it more structured, and they build up SBOMs, so software builds some materials. And from a security perspective, we call it CBOM. And a CBOM is a dedicated structure you can build up based on more or less standards, and you figure out, and you have a list of all your crypto you've got in your organization, and then you can start to prioritize where to start implementing your quantum secure algorithm first on top of your crypto you have in place. What we need to do, you know, we are Deutsche Bahn, we are with AWS and Microsoft. We need to figure out how does it work together with them. And what we need to do, or what everybody needs to do is to discuss with your vendors. Some of the vendors are outside. To discuss with your vendors, what can they provide? Are they so far that they have it in place already? Do they have PQC in their environments already? Is it mentioned? Do they have solutions? Can they offer some solutions? Or do you have to do it on your own? And it needs to be figured out. How much trust do you have to your vendors? Because when you look for the architecture community, they're going more and more for a zero trust attitude not to trust the vendors, but to have it in your own organization and to understand what's really happening there. And what we did is we embedded it very early in the architecture principles. So this, and this means these are principles for the whole organization, and Deutsche Bahn is large. It is 350,000 employees worldwide, so it's a large organization, we can say. So it's embedded in these principles, and which means it has to be done. It's not a recommendation, it's a requirement which needs to be done. We are a quitters organization, so we have to figure out which quitters application needs to be adopted first. So what is the biggest impact? We have it in the security policy. In the meantime, we have some test beds implemented to figure out which additional workload will grow up with these solutions, and we do it at the moment. We plan it to do it in the CI/CD pipeline from a software perspective. So it's not anymore a crypto topic; it's a software development topic. And just to give you some one idea where to start first, and this could be a slide you can hand over to your CISO and your CIO, to the inventory. An inventory means that really do the scans, the crypto scans, and use, if possible, these Cyclone DX standards and the CSAF standard. The CSAF standard is something which came up from BSI. He's already waiting. Sorry, Manfred. Oh, I'm zero. I'm in time still. So this CSAF standard is a standard where you can do automated connection to your vendors. This is the first part which needs to be done to become crypto agile, and all the rest is coming up later. And you don't need to know anything about quantum, about HPC, about crypto as well. This is software development, and it's on the other hand, it's risk management, and you can decide whether you want to do it or not. So for Deutsche Bahn, it's relevant. We are quitters. And this quantum optimization stuff, I rely on LoRa, that we got these systems available within the next time, and then we are able to secure our systems on one hand, and we can optimize our systems on the other hand with these high-performance hybrid systems. Thank you very much.